Very good morning to you, Ben Brophy here. Thank you for being here on time on Saturday, the 6th of November. We've just got a number of people joining. So if you can type into the chat panel, please, just type in hello. Just let me know that you can see me and hear me, please. And we'll be starting in just about 2 minutes. Hi there, Edward. Hi, Barry. Hi there, Tim, Hazel, Cliff, Annette. Super stuff. Okay, lovely. Catherine, good morning. So thank you for being ahead of time as always. I'm just going to give 2 minutes for the people who will be logging on at the moment. So just grab yourself a glass of water or a tequila shot if you start early in the morning. Refreshment, pen, paper, have something to take notes on. Got some good stuff to share. Super stuff. We've got Jerry, we've got Peter, we've got Dimitri, Plexi, lovely, nice international, Catherine, Annette, Cliff. So if you haven't typed in yes, please just type in hello. Hi there, Alwyn. And I shall be starting in 1 minute's time. Okay. Fantastic. Hi there, Mark. Good to have you here. Right, so let's be respectful of everyone's time. I've got lots to get through as always, and we've got Sam Druce coming on in the second part of this morning's session, which should be a great session as well. So in case you don't know who I am, and firstly, on behalf of the Internet Business School, Simon Coulson and the team, Roger, Nikki, Jay, Staz, Ricky, Big Ben, me, Middle Ben, Little Ben, and all of the team, good morning and welcome. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm Ben Brophy. I'm hosting this morning. We've got Sam Druce coming up in the second hour with some great tips. And my aim today, as always, is just to ensure that you're investing your Saturday morning on the 6th of November at this instance, or if you're watching back on replay, you're taking a couple of hours of your time, which is your most valuable asset. So my genuine intent is to ensure that you leave these couple of hours feeling that you're in a better place and that you have invested that time. You haven't just spent it like frivolously spending money and it's just spent. You've invested this time and you've got some tips and tools and some ideas that can help improve your life, give you back more time, help you to be more effective, more efficient, and to be more impactful with whatever your project or your business is, so that you can spend more time doing what you truly love with the people you love. So that's my overarching objective, as always. And a few of you have connected with me before, which I'm very grateful for. But just in case you haven't, I'm Ben Brophy, this tall, bald guy here. Well, you can't see I'm tall. I'm 6'5". These are just a few of the things. I love teaching people. I love sharing content. I love learning new tools to save people such as yourself a lot of the stumbling blocks. So I have invested over the years, over the decades, a lot of time trialing things, testing things, wasting time, one could say, but not wasting time, because always learning from the endeavors and the things that I've tested, so I can distill some of the best practices for you. So shared with Simon all around the world, across different continents, literally to tens of thousands of people. Tony Robbins, Hay House Radio, published books. I love to do adventurous expeditions up mountains, as you can see there. Writing for magazines, for online sites, a lot of philanthropic projects. I believe that all of us have a part of the reason that we're here. This is just my personal philosophy, is to be able to contribute back to those. And that may be our immediate family initially, if you've got children, of course, and you're raising the next generation, but also outside of our immediate sphere, to contribute something back, to give something of ourselves, whether that's some of our knowledge, maybe it's our contacts, maybe if we're financially a little, we have something that we can spare, or that we can we believe is important to sort of contribute to those less fortunate. So I've done a lot of philanthropic projects and supported a lot of projects, a lot with digital marketing, actually, with a lot of the tools and some of the things I'll be sharing with you today. And ultimately, and also things like Google, podcasting, YouTube, and have had the good fortune to work with people of all ages and backgrounds all around the world. And my buzz is when I hear from somebody who just says, that idea, that insight, or that tool is brilliant, or that's just saved me loads of time. Every minute, every hour that's saved, that's an hour given back to you to be spent with the people that you love or doing the things that you love. So that's sort of my kick, that's my buzz, and I've got some good stuff to share with you this morning. So enough about me. What about you? So I can see, sorry, excuse me, my eyes are going to go between here. I've got a screen here and my slide screen here, and I've tried to put the other screen directly in the line of sight here, but you will see my eyes just go above occasionally. So what I would like to do is, please, just quickly, let's do a quick roll call, and just let me know, name, where you are in the world, and on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of today, this morning, but the last few days, 10 being couldn't be any better, 1 being seriously awful, hitting a real low, almost can't bear to go on at this present moment. Where are you feeling at this present moment in time in the last couple of days on average? So your name, your location, and how you're doing. So we've got Phil up in Leeds on an 8. Is this live? Yes, it is, Ankuri. We're not recording. I asked the same question at the beginning. It's important to get a feel for the audience. And Frichu said, okay, thank you. We're flying in here. So we've got Jerry in Berkshire on a 7. We've got Cliff in Eastbourne, UK, and he's buzzing. Brilliant. We've got Annette in Warminster on a 6. We've got Paul in London on a 7. We've got Jerry in Kirkcaldy still on a 6. Okay, let's get that up to a 7 at least by the end of this session, if not an 8. We've got Mark in Ipswich on a 2. Sorry to hear that, Mark, and I mean that sincerely. Hopefully your couple of hours this morning will at least be a 3, a 4 by the time you come off. In fact, something I'm going to gift you all in a moment will definitely help notch that up to a 4 or a 5 for sure, I promise you. So sorry to hear that you're having a tough day, tough week, tough morning. Remember, for all of us, whenever I've just had a friend who's called me from Indonesia, he's going through a marriage breakup. He called me in tears yesterday. Remember, this too shall pass. Everything passes. We've got to where we are today through the highs and the lows. Life is never a flat line. That's what is the beauty. It's challenged when it's not such a great time, but that's part of the beauty of it, is the nuances of the highs and the lows and the challenges. Market's going to get better, my friend. This too shall pass. Catherine in Bucks on an 8. We've got Hazel on a 7 in Midlands. We've got Tony and Kent on a 5. David, okay, so it's nice. We've got quite a high median. David a 7. We've got Graham in Rutland on a 5. Mike from Yeovil on 8. Last week, Gerard was on a 2, but last night on a 6. I won't ask what you got up to last night, Gerard, but I'm glad that you're up 4 from last time. We've got Luther in London on an 8. All in it. See, it's interesting, look, because we've got almost 100 people on the call live. There'll be many more on replay, but it's good not to assume that we're all on the same space. We've got Cliff, eyes buzzing, on a 10. We've got Phil and Chapman on an 8. Alwyn on a 6 in Yorkshire. Thank you. Don't worry, I'm not going to be doing this forever. I'm just getting a feel. Alfred in Norwich, 8. Ian in Freeham on an 8. We've got Ali from Algeria. It's raining, but not so cold like in London. Well, there you go. Be grateful for your warmth over there. And Curry in Derby on a 6. We've got Leon in Kent on a 7. Fantastic. So, and we've got Alan on an 8, and we've got Dimitri on a 7. Mark Ipswich busted my hand up, so cannot work. Really sorry to hear that, Mark. There is a gift in every situation. This is a little something, we know this, but everything that happens for a reason. We don't have to believe it does, but of course it does. There's something much bigger than us that knows what's happening, not just outside of our egos. Everything happens for, so one of Tony Robbins' philosophies, and this is super empowering, everything happens for a reason and a purpose that serves me. Just make a note of that. It's a game changer, because everything that happens is happening for a reason, even if it seems to be, excuse my French, S-H-I-T, it's happening for a reason and purpose that serve me. If you make that one of your beliefs, then everything that comes your way, you'll be able to, okay, don't like how that feels, but this is serving me in one way or another, even if I can't see what that is right now. So thank you for sharing, guys. We've got Plaxi just coming on a 4. Thank you very much in the UK. So that's given me a feel for where we're at. So on the whole, up above 6 or 7, which is great. I was asking this, I always ask it, but we had a period in time last year where there was lots of 2s and 3s in particular. You know, a lot of people going through super tough times. So again, like I asked previously, don't worry, I'm just doing the same sort of 10 minutes kind of at the beginning. The reason I do this, because this is to get us to reflect as a group, but also because I want you to now think, I'm going to share with you some new tools, hopefully. But what I want you to think about is that we're on November the 6th today. And if you're watching on replay, it's going to be after that. We have got 8 weeks left in the year. Let's take out the last 10 days because Christmas, the week in between Christmas and New Year's, not loads gets done for most people. It's more celebration and family time. So I would like you to just contemplate, and if you want to share, I'll just take a couple of shares. But what is one thing between now and the 31st of December? What's one thing that you would like to be, do, or have? So contemplate this, don't just listen passively. What is one thing that you would be happy that you are, and I'm asking the question, being, how you're being, something that you would like to do, or something that you would like to have? If you're a super achiever, maybe one in each. But I just want you to reflect on that, please. And if you'd like to share, I'll take a couple of shares. But more importantly, make a note of this to yourself, because what I want to do is just stir your thought process right now before we jump into the main content of today's session, to give you a little bit of focus on something that you are now in this moment saying is important to you. Anthony wants to win the lottery. Well, good luck with that, Anthony. There's probably better strategies and tactics out there, but good luck with that. You know, anything can happen. But apart from winning the lottery, anything else? We've got Mark, how to build an email list. So wants to learn how to build an email list. Okay, super. Well, we'll share with you a couple of things, I'm sure, myself and Sam later on relating to that. Philip wants to finish his book and get fitter, and Chris wants to start my YouTube channel. Fantastic. So look, all of these things, because it's different for each of us. Sometimes it may seem like a massive thing. Sometimes it may be something that's actually only that big, but it may be just a big thing, and it's better to commit to something and to get it done. And that's why I'm asking you, please make a note of it right now. Whatever it is that's coming up in your minds, write it down or put it on your computer somewhere where you see it every day, so that every day or every week you're moving towards that to make sure you get that done. So what I want you to actually do, just doing this spontaneously now, commit yourself that you're going to get that done by December the 31st. Because if you're telling yourself now that this is important to you, make a commitment to yourself and literally say, I'm going to get this done by the 31st of December. I will do another session around Christmas time where we're going to go into sort of looking into 2022 goal setting and planning with some really good tools and techniques. But right now, if whatever it is that you have just decided that you want to get done, before I go on to the next slide, I just want to ask you, what are 2 things that you can do that you can move you towards that? So if you want to set up a YouTube channel, we've got somebody who wants to start successful social media marketing. Great. Well, you're in a good place this morning on this call. Gerard wants to put systems and processes in place for his business. Great. So with any of these things that I'm looking at, some of these, David Willis wants over 100,000 visitors to at least one of my websites and a steady income. Okay. So from that whatever that goal is, what are 2 things that you can do this week or in the next 10 days to move you towards that? Please, just want to give you a second to contemplate that and to make a note of it. Don't be sat passively now, please. Please be doing this. This is your time. I want to help you move forward to get those things attained by the end of the year, okay? So just make a note, if whatever it is that you want to do, what are 2 things that you can do in the next week to 10 days to move you towards making that a reality? So as always, just I would say minimize the distractions over the next hour and a half or so, just so you get the most from the content. We're not a school. I don't like the word Saturday school. Should be like investment in your learning and your education, empowerment morning. Okay, but the more that you put into this, the more you'll get from it, obviously. And then just finally, just recapping, in case you're new on this call and you haven't done this before, because it's super simple. I went and visited my dear friends who sort of actually reminded me of this, Dr. Manish Usri, this week. And he talks about this in all of his seminars, and I'm just showing for you because we don't need to overcomplicate things. So in case you had forgotten this, or even if you remember this, let's have a reminder again. Whatever it is, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your life in general, whether it's in your health, whether it's with your YouTube channel, whether it's with your social media, maybe it's with your relationship, maybe it's, I don't know, in a hobby that you're trying to progress, contemplate. What we want to do is get conscious. So what we need to do is think about, for whichever area of our life it is that we're focusing on, or maybe it's our life in general, simply work out and look at what is working. What are you doing that's currently working? What are you doing that's not working? So what we're doing here is bringing mindfulness here, because most of us run unconscious patterns. And then thirdly, what could you do differently? And then simply each month, do more of what's working, do less of what's not working, and do something different. Watch the video, as I've said before, if you haven't already. I'm sure that some of you haven't. If you haven't already watched the video, please gift yourself, and I'm saying gift yourself, the time to watch that video by Dan Sullivan, who does 45 minutes all around this, one of the world's top coaches, one of the world's most successful business coaches and consultants. And he just goes into this in detail, and he says, this one thing alone transforms lives, transform businesses. If you can just do this month on month and month, do more of what's working, do less of what's not working, and then try something different. Do one of those each month, and then over 3 years you get exponential, but within 1 year you'll get huge transformation. He said, keep it simple. We don't need big encyclopedias and manuals telling you sort of how to do everything. Keep it simple. I like things that are simple, which I'm sure you do as well. All of us can do this, and we could share this with a 6-year-old up to a 96-year-old, and they would comprehend it. So let me gift you something. Marcus, I think it was, who said you were on a 2. Marcus, let me gift you something which will definitely make a difference. But for all of us, this is a project that one of many projects, but just something I created. I had an insight to do it. And one of the things that I just kind of got an insight to do when I was out walking one day was like, take some of your love of information, take some of your IT skills and know how to put things together, and just create a platform that is a gift, that is free, and pull together some of the best content that's readily available out in the internet, curate it, and bring it together under one roof for people to be able to access. So I created something called the Pay It Forward Academy, and I'm gifting to you now. I'm paying it forward, hence the name of it, to you now. But I want to show you what you can get from this. So it's absolutely free. There's no catch. There's no marketing, heavy marketing that comes with it at all or anything. You go to the front page. It could be improved, I know, but I just pulled in a couple of favors just to help get this together. But functionally, it works very well. So you just click on free instant access, just sign up, name and email. You're not going to get bombarded with messages. And then once you're in, it looks something like this, okay? So on the left-hand side, we have got different categories. So I'm gifting you now a big resource. And even if you don't use this straight away, bookmark it, or even if you don't use it, pay it forward, in hence the name, Pay It Forward. That's the only thing that I want is for it to just be shared with people. So at the top here, we have got, because we've went through, I've worked with many companies, and I realized that many companies, both the employees and the employers, often have a core set of skills that they need to work on or they need to improve. So what I've done on this one page alone, if you click on this one page, workplace quick start, fast track content for employees and employers. So here at the top of the page, we've got time management tips and ideas. Maybe not yourself, but I'm sure you may know somebody who could maybe do with some tips around time management, if not yourself. And in the top here, let me just show you, this is, again, I'm just putting together skills that I've learned and know how to do. So this is a playlist. So this is a playlist. This video here is one of 9 videos. How do I know that? Because as it says here, if you click on that there, you can see that that is a playlist. Click on that, and then that shows you the different videos in that playlist, all to do with time management. So just select through, or if you start on the first one, it will roll down into the second, into the third, into the fourth. Or if you're like, I don't want to watch 9 videos on time management, let me jump in and click on whichever video resonates with me. So that is a YouTube playlist. So what I've done there, just to share with you, that's a tip. Rather than putting like 9 different YouTube videos on the page, which is going to take time to load and is going to take a lot of space on the page, I've wrapped them into a playlist. Likewise, habit forming. We are creatures of habit. People who are late tend to be late. People who are punctual tend to be punctual. People who spend more than they earn, we tend to do things in habitual manners. So going back to the slide that I just talked about, if you know that there's something that's not working in your life that you tend to be doing, the chances are that that is a habit. So the chances are that you need to break an old habit and create a new habit. Easier said than done if we don't know how. So here we have a playlist of 9 videos again. And if you haven't read the book, Atomic Habits, you don't have to read the book, because I've found the man who wrote the book and found his top summaries. It's a brilliant book called Atomic Habits. He is Mr. Habit Breaker, Habit Maker. But here you go, a playlist of 9 videos relating to making and breaking habits. Self-discipline tips and ideas. Okay, Like, everything is down to what we commit to do and whether or not we follow through with that. A lot of us know what we should do, but actually doing that, once we're distracted, especially these days with children and social media and everything, could be a different thing to what we'd intended to do. So if we need a little bit more self-discipline, exactly the same. We've got communication tips. So all of these are basically playlists. So within there are 17 videos relating to communication. If you're a leader or you're a manager, so you've got some top videos on leadership and management, more down at the bottom. I'm not even going to go through these. I just want to show you how much value there is in this. 51 videos here relating to leadership tips and ideas. Now, time is everything. So what if I could gift you back your time and save you having to read some of the world's top leadership books and the top management and mindset books? Well, I've done that. I've gone and found some of the best summaries out on the internet. And here again are some of the top leadership books. Okay, summaries there. So rather than spending a day reading or 2 days buying and reading, you can just drop in here and watch in 15 or 20 minutes, get the key takeouts. Emotional intelligence, tips to be a good and successful employee if you've got employees or if you are an employee, sales skills and tips, negotiation tips and skills, confidence and self-belief. A lot of us, myself included, often hold ourselves back because maybe we're not as confident as we'd like to be in certain areas. So again, 64 videos relating to self-confidence. So what I just want to share with you is there is a wealth, even in this one post, motivation and inspiration, 200 videos from some of the best in there. Okay, there's Wayne Dyer, a great teacher in my life. And then down at the bottom, we've got summaries and overviews of the world's top business and mindset books. And that's just in one post, okay? So hopefully you can see that there is thousands of pounds worth, because I've gone out there and I've just looked at what the top influencers and the best books are in certain areas, and then found some of the best content and just dropped it into one easy to find post. Right, many people are working from home. So I'm going to spend 5 more minutes just on this, and then we're going to jump into podcasting, okay? But I just want to make sure that you understand how this works. So again, because many more people are working from home, I created this during lockdown, but there is a whole wealth of tips relating to do with everything from working from home there, literally hundreds of resources in there. Maybe it is, let's just have a look. Maybe it's relationships. Relationships are a big part of our life. Maybe it's money and financial literacy. In fact, because we're talking about the Internet Business School, and the Internet Business School is a lot about sort of, wealth and hopefully enhancing your wealth. So if you click on the link to money, financial literacy and wealth mindset, in here are multiple different posts. So we've got some of the top people in the best-selling books. We've got summaries or the authors talking about this. And so how to make money, a playlist of experts, top tips, 113 videos pulled together there. We've got The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease. We've got Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. The Spiritual Laws of Money, if you're a little bit more interested in the actual dynamics and the consciousness of sort of wealth. We've got Abraham Hicks. We've got Ken Honda, whose international best-selling book, Happy Money, has been greatly praised around the world right now. And we've got him talking about the best takeouts from his book, and so on and so forth. So basically, there is a wealth of content here. We've got business and marketing, communication and negotiation, confidence, dealing with criticism, haters, bullying and trolls, depression, anxiety and stress that has shot through the roof since we've been in lockdown. Habits, addictions and cravings, if we know anyone who's got any habits that don't serve them. Mindfulness, meditation, obviously is a massive growing area. We've got some of the best sort of links to apps in there. Parenting, we've got tips on parenting if you're a parent. Relationships in love, I'll just touch on this one lastly, because relationships are a part of all of our lives. And we've got, again, we've got some of the top, let me just take one for example. Esther Perel, one of the world's foremost relationship experts, has got an amazing website where she's one of the world's top therapists who works with couples. And she basically has recorded a whole series of sessions dealing with all sorts of different issues in relationships, from infidelities to sort of unbalance of love, through to children, dynamic in relationships. And she basically then dissects the sessions and talks through what's happening, and they're brilliant. And we've got links to those here as well, okay? So a wealth of information. That's my first gift to you. So whoever put their hand up and said they were on a 2, I promise you that if you jump into this, everything is time. If you take even 20 minutes a day and just say, right, each day this week, if you know, I'm going to spend 20 minutes watching a video on confidence or an area that I want to improve, and this resource, and you can suggest content. It's by no means complete, but it's kind of phase one. It's called www. For whoever's asking, let me just type it in here. It's www. And please feel free just to I'm going to send this to everyone, www.payitforwardacademy, and just simply pay it forward. It's there to be shared. That's why I created it. Pay it forward on social media, on LinkedIn. There's no marketing with it. There's no price tag attached with it. This is something that I've created in service, because I'm paying hundreds of pounds every month for Kajabi, and I was able to create another site on my account. I'm like, well, that's a nice use of my investment in Kajabi, and it's making a little bit of a difference. Like I said, we're all here to contribute something back to the greater good. And especially right now, there's a lot of stress in the world and a lot of unhappiness. So that's part of one of this morning's session. Hopefully, in and of itself, that is useful. But let me jump into something which I think is really, really important. Oh, I've just got the little wheel of death. There we go. Is the important, I'm just looking at the things. Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, super. I'm just having a look at the questions. Okay, so the next part of this morning's session, in the next half an hour, what I'd like to share with you, please, is the importance of being able to record and share audio. And I don't want to just tell you why it's important, but I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to gift you a free industry insider tool that anyone, and I use, as do thousands of people around the world, easily use to record and edit audio. So firstly, I'm just going to pre-frame it by sharing why it's so important. Then I'm going to look at some of the uses, and then I'm going to share with you a tool. And if you want, I'm not here to pitch, but I'm going to literally gift you a training that I have done, which shows you step by step how to do all of it, and then get it onto Spotify, Google, Apple, and so on and so forth, so you can reach many more people. But it's not a pitch. I'm here in service as always. I'm just letting you know that I want to make sure that you leave this session thinking, wow, this is brilliant. So sharing audio online is often called podcasting, okay? And it's been exploding in popularity. So, but podcasting, some people think, oh, that's a podcast show. No, podcast show, for example, you know, like what Joe Rogan or Russell Brand or whatever, that's just one way of using audio. What I would rather you think about is, can I share audio? Okay, so could I talk? Could I edit what I'm saying? Or maybe you don't need to edit because you're just reading and you know that you've just said it nicely. Could I share that audio content across the internet? So what could you potentially share audio for? I always want to think outside of the box. You could share it for reading web content, as simply as going back. If you've got an existing website, go to your existing content on your pages, which you or a copywriter or one of your team has taken the time to carefully create, and just do an audio version. Just read through the About Us page, the Meet the Team, products and services, why we do what we do, contact, just literally narrate that content. You've now got audio content that you can put on each of those pages for people who prefer to listen, and also for the search engines. You could go back through blog posts, if you've already created blog posts or content, and just read it and turn it into audio content. Super quick win, really, really easy to do. You could be smart and you could go and use your eyes and your ears and look in your niche and look at popular blog posts, go and have a look at popular social content that's got traction, and do your own version and do that in audio format. If you have written a book, or if you're contemplating writing a book, and I probably 20 authors, many of them well-known authors that you probably know, some of them, I've actually reached out to them and just said, can you please do yourself and the world a favor? You've taken all of the time to create this great book that's now available on Amazon and available on your website, and you're missing a massive trick. It probably has taken you maybe a week, well, a lifetimes of work, but maybe a week or month or months or years to write your book. And for the sake of an extra 2 days, just reading it and tidying it up and putting it online, you could now have an audio book. I listen to 2 audiobooks a month minimum with Audible. I read maybe 1 or 2 books a year because I like to listen. One of the reasons I'll talk about in a moment. So if you've ever written a book, read it, please. Make it available for people such as myself who don't read books, which is a growing number of people for one of the reasons I'm about to share with you. And you can upload that to Audible. You can put it on your website, or you could offer that as a service to people. I know people who've come on the course, they've learned how to edit audio, and one of their income streams is now literally just doing audio recordings for people, saying you should record an audio version of your web content or of your book. The people don't know how to do it. Well, I can do that, or my team can do that for you. You could offer audio recording as a paid for service. And something else you could do very easily, imagine in your email or on your blog post or on your website or on a combination of them, you could just communicate related information and news. So you could just go have a look at Google Trends, have a look at Google, whatever the news is in your area, pick up your local trade publication, or go and have a look at some of the leading influencers and websites, and succinctly pull together some of the information and turn that into audio content, into a newsletter, a monthly update. And you could use audio. I use actually very successfully audio for emailing. Sometimes I email out an audio, and the reaction from emailing audio has been extremely high for me personally, speaking from first-hand experience. So those are just some examples outside of a traditional podcast of what you could use audio for. But what I want to do is just share with you 10 reasons to contemplate learning to record and share audio, or for wanting to create a podcast. So I'm just going to cut the video for about 5 minutes. I'll be straight back on. But so reason number one, okay, let's go. Right, audio content is convenient for the consumer. Think about yourself. I think about myself. I like to listen. So a massive reason is because audio content is convenient for the consumer. The Don of marketing, Seth Godin, if you don't know who Seth Godin is, please check him out. SETHGODIN. He's the man, Mr. Seth Godin, said that as marketers, what we're competing for most is someone's attention. Remember that there's an overwhelming amount of information available to all of us, and there are so many distractions, whether that's social media, it's the family, it's the email inbox. Therefore, being able to focus 100% of our attention on one specific piece of content, whether that's an article or a video, is becoming increasingly difficult to do. It's hard to ignore everything else that wants our attention, to focus 100% on reading a whole article or watching a video. Think about this yourself. Unless you're very focused, the chances are you tend to be more of a skimmer in many cases. So one of the great things about audio, being able to record and share audio or podcasts, is that your content can be consumed while the listener is multitasking and doing something else. So for example, someone can listen while cleaning their house, driving their car, jogging, walking the dog, or exercising at the gym. It doesn't distract them from their current activity. It actually enriches it and helps them to be more productive. So one of the biggest reasons to contemplate sharing audio is because audio content is both portable and convenient. Reason number two, because it's an easy way to build an audience. So just like with a blog, a podcast is a way that you can build an audience. And as your podcast or your audio begins to grow in popularity, and you ask, again, always having a call to action, asking people to comment, like, subscribe, to share with other people, the size of your audience can increase potentially quite easily. Not everyone who listens will come back, but the ones who do like it, and they like your content, can potentially become loyal listeners and will likely recommend your show to other people, which over time you'll build as a tribe of fans eager to hear your next update, your next episode. So you can host your shows on platforms such as Spotify and Google, which also helps to expose your show to new listeners who can find your show by searching for specific topics on those platforms. So for example, if you were to host a show about cooking, someone looking for a podcast about cooking can potentially find your show if it appears in the search results for that keyword. Now, a really important one as well is that it barely costs anything to get started now. You know, a decade ago, it might have cost you a couple of £1,000, but right now you can get started for literally £100. There are a few pieces of equipment that you need. What do you need? You need a computer, of course, with an internet connection. But from there, your basic essentials are a microphone. So I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone, really, really good microphone. Blue Yeti microphone, industry standard, about a quarter of the price of other similar quality microphones. So many podcasters and people doing web content, course content, are using Blue Yetis. You can pick one of those up on eBay for about £50. You need a headset, microphone, and maybe a potential pop filter on this. That is my pop filter. I've just got a little fuzzy hat on there, a little afro on there, okay? But you can get started for £100. It's never been as easy to potentially reach so many people. To increase the size of your network. So if you host a podcast where you interview various guests, so a very easy way to generate content, and not just as a podcast, but also for your website, for a blog, or for your socials, is to interview people so you can easily expand your network. And the chances are, if you interview people, then those people that you've interviewed will also share it across their networks as well, because they're being featured in it. And also what many people are doing in the same way as like Simon Coulson, when he does webinars with people, or he guests, for example, Sam Druce on This Morning, end up building and forging good working relationships with those people. And very often from those, business partnerships or projects evolve from it. So great way to easily increase the size of your network. And just tagging into that, a great way to generate content is to interview people within your niche, or of people who have interest your target demographic. Now, you can make money from your show in a few different ways. So one of the ways is, if you've got high enough listenership, you can get sponsors for your show, right? So like Tim Ferriss, if you listen to Tim Ferriss, at the beginning of each show, he will have been given a good few £1,000s to say that this show is sponsored by. So that's not going to happen for everyone, but you can also use your podcast or your audio to promote your own products or services. That might be books, it might be courses, it might be consulting, it may be a specific product. I don't know, it's going to be different for each of us on this call, but you can use it as a platform to showcase your content and your product or service. Now, another option is to include a recommended resources section on the website attached to your audio. So if you're just putting your audio on your website, or what we would normally do. So remember, with all content, what we want to do, whether it's video, whether it's a podcast, a call to action. For more information, please visit, or please get your free download across at www.yourwebsiteaddress.co.uk or .com, so that you've got a call to action for people to come from the audio across to the platform where you want them to take action, or to leave their name and email, or to get their free download. And on there, you can have a recommended resources section where you've got your affiliate listed products. You could have affiliations with other products or service. So just a reminder, again, even if you don't do audio, one way that you can easily increase your product range, remember, your job as a business owner is firstly to provide good service for people. So to make sure that people, after they engage with you, feel better and are in a better place than before the engagement and the exchange of resource, probably money, sometimes time, or skill exchange. But what you can do, your job, once they know, like, and trust you, is to think deeper about how you can serve them. How can you serve them? How can you help them? What are their challenges? What are their needs? So if you think about that, rather than many of us just think in our linear box and just swim 100% in lane, if you know that actually they're interested in this, they're interested in this, so who else can provide a product or a service which may be of interest to them? If they have already bought from you and they know, like, and trust you, if you recommend an affiliated product or service provider, they can purchase through you. You still get your 10, 15, 20, 25 or more % commission for recommending other affiliated products or services. And just a quick tip, if you don't already know, go to Google or the search engine of choice. I prefer DuckDuckGo, and type in, for example, whatever your keyword is, followed by affiliate program. Another way to type it in is keyword referral program. So affiliate programs, the 4 ways that they're often described are even affiliate schemes, partnership programs, referral schemes, or affiliate programs. So if you just type in keyword affiliate program, keyword referral scheme, keyword partnership program, you will find a list of people in that niche area who are offering referral schemes that you could potentially sign up for and get a commission for recommending. As always, please only recommend good stuff. There's too many people, or there's enough people out there recommending crap stuff. So make sure that whatever you're recommending, excuse my French, recommending something that you can genuinely stand behind. We don't need more people recommending tosh out there. There's enough of those people, okay? But that one tip alone could significantly increase your product range and help you to increase your income by going deep with your existing audience. of which audio and podcasting could be one way to help that. Now, another important reason is to position yourself as an authority in your industry. Very, very many people don't know how to do it, but we are seeing by the month more and more people stepping up, in particular into sort of video. Many people haven't quite got into podcasting and audio yet. But what you could do is if you share helpful advice on a specific topic on a consistent basis, then it helps to position you or somebody else as an authority in your niche. So sharing audio or hosting a podcast has a similar effect as running a blog or writing a book. It helps develop your reputation as an expert. And as you increase your authority in your market, you attract many more opportunities to you. For example, being invited to speak at events or conferences in your industry, maybe being asked to be an interviewee on another podcast or on another website. So you can also consider offering your coaching, your consulting, or your services as people begin asking for your specific advice in your area of expertise. And there's a really good book from one of our friends. He was actually co-hosting Saturday School, I think a month ago, Daniel Priestley. If you haven't already read it, highly recommended reading. It's called Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley. Excellent book where he talks about this. But as you start to, all other things being equal, let's just say over the next 6 months, the next 2 months, the next year, you started adding audio to your sort of metaphorical string, your bow of strings, then you start standing out, you start positioning yourself further as an expert, as an authority. As you start becoming an authority, you start charging a higher fee for your product source, or you can start charging a higher fee for your products or services because you're standing apart from the competition and differentiating yourself. Now, as mentioned a moment ago, what you could also do, it could be a good way, audio can be a great way to attract ideal customers or clients. You can use the show to help promote your own products and services, such as books, courses, even consulting services. And you can mention these things in your audio, at the end of your audio, in your episodes, or you can simply tell your listeners to visit or ask them to visit your website to learn more about what you want to offer. Now, one of the biggest reasons is, if you think about it, if you are in somebody's ears, okay, I can be going on getting about, I listened to people, I woke up this morning at sort of 6:30, and the first thing I did for half an hour was I listened to an audio. That person is literally with me, and I feel on a one-to-one basis that I am connected to that person. It's a very strange psychological connection, but it has been argued that the closest that one can get is by being in the ears. Video is amazing because it's visual and it's audio. Writing is great. Many of us like to read, and you can really articulate very nicely in words often. But hearing somebody's voice in our ears really develops a connection. So as your audience listens to more of your audio, and I've found this, I've started just sharing some audio tips in some emails, and I have many more people sort of engaging, coming back and reaching out for extra support or assistance, literally just because I'm sharing some tips. I'm just reading a blog post or a piece of content, but I'm articulating it in audio and sending it to give them a chance to listen in audio format. And people are kind of connecting. They feel like they know you and they warm to you. Remember, even if there are many people out there doing podcasts or audio, there is room for all of us, okay? There's so much room for all of us. The world is a big place, and there's more and more people coming online. And the way that I talk about audio or podcasting is going to be different to the way that Simon, or if you were talking about it, would talk about it. And each of us, in the same way that we've all got different groups of friends and we all resonate with different people, our vibe attracts our tribe. So fine, Simon, you connect with the people who sort of resonate with you. I'll connect with the people who resonate with me, and you, whether it's Ankuri, Veronica, Chris, Michael, Phil, whoever, all of you, whatever your content is in your niche, you will present yourself in your own way, in your own style. Remember, there's only one of you. There's only ever going to be one of you, and you are unique, you are special, and a lot of people want what you have to offer in your style. Don't try to be, we can all learn from each other's, but one thing I would say is don't try to be somebody that we're not. There are lots of people who are falling unstuck because they're inauthentic, trying too hard to be something that they're not, and you're like, that's not you. Be you 100% authentically, okay? And that's what people will feel and connect with. Now, the other thing, just importantly, the last couple, it doesn't take much time to maintain, okay? So actually, once you learn how to record and edit, the kind of you know, there's a few steps involved in publishing an episode. The first being planning the episode. What is the content? What's the outcome? What are you covering in the 20 minutes or the 10 minutes or the 30 minutes? What's the objective? What are, say, for example, the 3 takeouts? What's the subject, or who's the interviewee? So plan the episode is probably the most important thing. Record it, edit it, publish it, and then promote it. I'll say that again. Plan it, record it, edit it, publish it, promote it. Okay. But as a podcast host, probably the most important thing is the planning. Spend the most time planning, thinking about what's the value add, what am I sharing with my audience, what is the takeout. In the same way that this morning I'm like, I want to gift you the Pay It Forward Academy, and I want you to understand the importance of audio recording, but also I'm going to gift you in a moment a tool that you can use to record audio so that you can get going and you can get moving. So we're pre-framing that with why it's important. And the 10th reason, I'm putting together 3 in 10 because I said I'd give you 10. I'm not doing 12. Have you got a face for radio? I hate watching myself. I don't even like listening to myself. I hate it, I'm sure. Just put your hand up and say, tell me. Some people love their voice, which is wonderful. But when I hear my voice, I'm like, oh my gosh, do I actually look and sound like that? Because I don't actually in my head feel like I sound like that. Type in yes if you feel like that when you hear yourself. But that is ultimately how we come across. And I'm 46 years old now. That's how I speak. I sound like what I sound like. I've got a different interpretation of it in my head. But hey, here I am this morning. You're interpreting me, how I come across. I don't always like how that is, but I'm being authentic and I'm sharing. So likewise with you, be real. They say for many people, one of the reasons when I do video training is, I don't want to go in front of a camera. You don't have to go in front of a camera to do video. But even if they don't want to do video at all, there's a kind of, it's a joke expression. Have you got a face for radio? Meaning, stay away from the video, just do audio. Super easy. Could be wearing your pajamas, could be wearing nothing, could be wearing your tuxedo, but you just read content in wherever you want to do it, in the bath. I wouldn't recommend in the bath, but you know, wherever you want, and you can put that out there. You don't have to get the expensive lighting and backdrops, expensive camera. And also one of the lovely things, it's very, very low on computer processing power. So whereas if you're doing professional video editing with high definition content, it can take a lot of storage and you've got to import pieces of big content. With audio, it takes barely any processing power, so it's not using much of your computer's capability. Because I know that for some people, put your hand up if you're low on space, then it gets around that as well. So those are 10 reasons. So the question that you should be asking now is, okay, Ben, you've told me why it's important. How do you record audio? So just give me a high five. Just put up your hand if you'd like to know an industry insider free tool. I've got David Willis saying, I do a lot of dictation of documents and letters, so I have got used to hearing my voice. I've also recorded chapters of a book for students using an app on my mobile. That's brilliant, David. Would you mind sharing, if you know the name of your app? I'm just saying, sound advice. What if you sound like half a Geordie robot? Then outsource it and get somebody else to do it. Okay. Some other people saying, I don't like hearing my own voice. Okay, great. So I'm just going to share a few little bonus tips as well. We all like bonus tips, don't we? I know you do. I do. So if you go to the App Store, whether it's for iPhone or Android, go to the App Store, and if you just type in voice recorder. Now, I personally like this one on the iPhone. It looks like an old tape deck. This is a really good tip, by the way. Oh, let me just cancel that. Voice. There we go, voice recorder. But if you go to your App Store or to Google Play, type in voice recorder. There's loads of them, or you may even have one on your device. But with that one, I yesterday sent 3 voice messages as emails. I just recorded a voice message, sent it as an email using that free tool, and made 3 sales just by sending a personal voice message for the reasons that we just talked about to some people who were inquiring about some coaching and training, and they all came back affirmative, positive. But I believe a large part of that was using voice. So that's one tool. Get a voice recorder app, play around with it, see if that works for you. But let me share with you a great tool for recording content. So make a note, please take a screenshot of this. If you go to audacityteam.org/download. Right, Haley's just saying she couldn't see which voice recorder app I used. So I'm using an iPhone and it is grey, but there's many of them. It just looks like an old tape deck. If you type in voice recorder into the App Store, but there's lots of them. They all do basically the same thing. You just record your voice and then you can send it as WhatsApp or as an email or to social media. I don't want to digress too much. That was just a little bonus tip. Right, got 10 minutes or so left, 15 minutes left. So if you go to audacityteam.org/download, this is an industry insider free tool. We all like the word free. So look, you can see that's a screenshot of it there. So whatever platform, whether you're using Linux, Mac, or Windows, download it, install it, and then open it. So let me just click through here. So the fundamentals, take a screenshot of this if you would like. It's easy, it's not hard, okay? Once you know how to do this, like anything, it's rinse and repeat, the same way as when you're setting up a website or doing SEO or creating a Facebook post or using Canva to do some art. So what are the fundamentals? Firstly, you need to set the microphone inputs, okay? So with this, I plug in my Blue Yeti microphone because the Blue Yeti microphone is much better than the computer microphone, but you could get started without a microphone just to start practicing around with this and use your computer microphone. So you select your microphone input, check your levels, check your recording levels, watch out for background noise and record. So I'm not even going to tempt fate now, but you'll notice that there's not distractions going on at the moment. Haven't got a washing machine on, haven't got phone ringing, haven't got the doorbell going, because I'm paying attention to background noise to try and give a nice clean environment. Maybe sometimes, like my brother works in the media, and sometimes they're out in the field, and actually part of their whole recording process is to be out in the street, to have the hustle and bustle of the event that they're at, to give the dynamic. But on the whole, we probably want nice clean audio. And then number 3, we just cut out, in the same way with Microsoft Word, we get rid of any unwanted content, the ums, the ers, the pauses, where we fluffed the lines or where we were kind of double tracking in our thought process, or where we just kind of didn't get to a point. Cut it out if we want. If we want to rearrange things, maybe we didn't record it in sequential order, or maybe we added a good bit further down the timeline and actually we want that near the beginning. So just rearranging things if we want to. And if we want to add any additional audio, maybe we want some background music such as intro music or outro music. Maybe we've done an interview and recorded an interview at another time and we need to bring that in. So adding any additional audio. And then we just need to share it, export it, which means bringing it out of the program. It's literally a button, it says export, export as MP3. We now have an audio file that we can share into our platforms, into Spotify, using sort of distribution syndicating platforms, or maybe it's just to send us an email or just to upload to our website. So set the microphone, check the recording levels, cut out the unwanted content, rearrange, add any additional audio, and then export it ready for sharing. In a nutshell, that's it. It's not complicated. Won't take you long to learn how to do that. If you're doing a podcast, you probably want to get a nice podcast cover done. So let me just give you a tip now. Again, I want to give you value. I don't want you to have to necessarily buy anything. I want to help you get started. If you want, go to Fiverr and type in podcast cover art, and there are lots of people who will make you very professional, graphic designers all around the world who will make you nice artwork such as this. Or use canva.com. If you enjoy doing stuff yourself, go to canva.com. It's a free tool and it's a free app on your iPhone and your Android, and you can create nice artwork such as this. But I would say spend 10, 15 pounds, get a professional graphic designer, because it does stand out and it makes a difference. Another tip is research. Have your eyes and ears open. Look at your niche. If you're not in a niche yet, think about which niche you think you may want to go into, and just go and have a look. Go and have a look at the social platforms. Go and have a look at the podcasts that are currently out there. Get ideas. Do what we call a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is whatever we're looking at. What are the strengths of what we're looking at? What are the weaknesses? what are the opportunities and what are the threats? So when you're listening to a podcast, okay, well, I like that, I didn't like the length, or I didn't like his voice, or I didn't like her voice, or they didn't have a call to action at the end, or they forgot to sort of link to their website. So just get a feel for what's going on in your marketplace. Remember, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. So many people make it hard for themselves, think they have to start at ground zero. No, we don't. We've literally already with Fiverr for podcast cover art, with Audacity, by just going out and doing this very simple thing, looking at the content that's popular in your niche, getting a feel for what people are already engaging with. Success leaves clues. So the smart people learn by following those people who have laid and paved the foundations. So think open-mindedly. For example, so again, I have now just pulled in a post, which is different social media types of posts. And I'm just going to quickly, I haven't even looked at this, so I'm just going to very spontaneously look at this. So here's 30 types of social media posts. So I'm going to quickly look and I could turn audio into top right-hand corner, how-to posts. I could do an audio of that. In the middle on the top, I could do an audio inspirational post. I could do podcasts, middle on the second line. I could do newsworthy posts in audio format. I could ask users, I could share with them about a voice recorder app, for example, and ask them to send in some of their content and ask them to email it in to a specific email address. Then we have got a user-generated content, or we could do a live Q&A or a live interview. We could do an audio version of tips. We could do an audio version of quotes. We could do an audio version of ebooks or any kind of guide or checklist that you've done. We could do audio client testimonials. I mean, pretty much most of these now we could do as audio formats. We could ask people for advice and input in audio format in the same way that I'll say, if I said, could you give me some feedback or give me a tip another way? We could ask for recommendations. We could do audio. So all of these almost, look, 30 types of social media posts, and almost all of these we could repurpose in audio content. Very easy to do. And remember, for all of the reasons before, for SEO, for positioning as an authority, for standing out for the crowd, for giving people a nice, convenient way to engage with your content. So another tip, as I said before, record a book into an audio book. If you're thinking about writing a book, or if you have written a book, this is something that I learned. I did a book. I've done a few books with different people. And the first one was like 500 pages. Actually, I don't know if you've ever gone to many websites where you've downloaded a book, and in some instances, a book sometimes only 50 pages, so long as the content is useful. In fact, I would say that it's with the distractions in today's world, it's better to have less, just to be more on point, because actually, I haven't got time to read a 500-page book. As much as it might be brilliant, save me the time, Ben, condense it down to 100 pages. So could you write, or if you've got a book, or if you know someone who's got a book, could you turn it into an audio book, upload that to Audible? You can self-publish to Audible, which is the Amazon audio book department. And now you can put published on Amazon, which Audible is Amazon, so you're not cheating there, as published on Amazon and Audible straight away. That's expert authority status. Even if only a handful of people buy the book, that is a calling card which positions you as an authority in your industry. And with any book, another tip is use the book to link through to your social platforms, not just in the foreword or in the links at the end, but throughout the book. And if you notice, the leaders, Simon does it, Andy Harrington, many leaders. I don't know if Sam will mention this, but it's the sort of thing that Sam would do as well, probably, is make sure that you pepper the book with links to come across to a website. So you use that as a traffic generating tool and turn your book into audio content. Now, finally, just pull this into business context before I hand over to Sam in about 6 or 7 minutes. If you remember, the past 2 sessions that I've done, we've looked at the most important business strategy, which is the business accelerator optimization strategy, as seen on the screen. There are 3 ways to increase any business. It's the number of visitors that come to your website or your offline business. It's the amount that they spend with you, and it's the number of times that they come back to do business with you. And just taking the top line, we're just going to go top and bottom line. If we have 100 visitors spending £100 4 times a year, the turnover's 40 grand. If we are able just to increase the number of visitors, the average spend per visit, and the number of visitors per year by 25%, so we go from 100 visitors to 125, if we get the average spend up from 100 to 125, and if we get the number of visits back per year per person from 4 to just 5, 25% increase, they multiply each other out exponentially to 95% increase in business. So again, as I said before, if we use audio and podcasting, being able to share audio content in this context, if you could use audio to start sharing content, to be out there so that people start coming to your website, because now you're visible or you're audible in audio content, because you're positioning yourself, or you're talking about some of your products or services, and you're talking about some of your other products and services. Could you increase average spend per visit, or offer people sort of, you know, greater units of purchase, you know, a discount if they take 5 coaching sessions as opposed to 4 coaching sessions, or whatever it is. And just because you've been out there and you're using audio and you're out, you know, sharing on your social platforms, on your website, even on the podcasting platforms and on Spotify, you're out there, people are hearing and engaging with you more frequently. So you're front of mind when they are in need of what it is that you provide, so that they come back not 4 times, but 5 times a year. So just within that business model, you can see how using audio could really help. So if you just take a screenshot of this, I'm only going to be on this screen for like 10 seconds. There is another course for £47 instead of £197, which is based purely on that business accelerator model. There's hundreds of tactics going into how to increase visitors spend and the number of visits per year. And if you'd like to, I'm leaving this on the screen for 10 seconds just to take a screenshot of that. That's a special for you because you're here on Saturday School. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, next. Okay, so I just want to give you one more tool before we close out. If you're not sure, if you're moving into a new arena, or even if you're in an existing arena, use this free tool. Please use this free tool whilst it's available. It's called answerthepublic.com. So you can go here, you can use this twice a day for free without having to pay for it. Trust me, in a year's time, this will be probably £100 or £80 subscription a month. But if you put in your keyword there, it will then show you all different ways that people are searching for that keyword. So in terms of getting gold ideas, and you won't even, I'm sure you won't even have comprehended or thought about half, maybe 2/3 of the ways people are looking for your keyword. But each of those is potential ideas for social posts or for audio content. So it's called answerthepublic.com. Make a note of it. It's a brilliant tool, industry insider tool. At the moment, it's kind of just like top marketers and a few agencies who know about it. But that tool alone is worth you being on this call this morning. So I'm just going to offer this to you. No hard push. Just take a screenshot, please. Just take a screenshot because I'm going to be handing over to Sam in a minute. If you would actually like to learn how to record and share audio, I am offering to you, because you are on Saturday School, rather than it being £197, for a one-off £47, you can get access to a course that I've done. It's Complete Guide to Podcasting with myself. I've done a whole guide with pretty much everything: equipment, market research, artwork, length, duration, topic ideas, research, market names, length, the content marketing, how to actually physically edit and create the audio in Audacity, how to import audio, where to get background music that you can use royalty free, that you could use as like podcast background music or intros and outros, how to bring in interviews, how to get interviews from people, but more importantly as well, once you've got it, how to share it onto Spotify, how to get it onto Google and Apple where people are. So not just on your websites, but suddenly putting yourself into these huge new avenues where people can potentially discover you. So important, the syndication. So no big push. It's one-off £47, as Simon says. So if you're selling something as well, not just Simon baffled me the first time I saw Simon Coulson. He spoke and there was all these other people doing really hard pushes, and Simon was just really like the guy next door. he was kind of like, well, that's the price, that's what you get. Obviously he's amped it up a little bit as he's been around and there's more competition, but the same principle is just like, if you can't see as a business owner, it's a simple return on investment decision. It's like, that's the price of the training. What do you need to get back from it to make it a worthwhile investment? So my question to you is, £47, do you think that if you know how to record audio, that even one customer picked up from you sharing audio or creating a podcast or doing anything that we've talked about in the last hour and putting it out there in the next 6 months, let alone in the next 2 weeks or month, one customer, two customers, three customers, what's a customer lifetime value to you? Is it £47? That's probably a lot more. So I know that it's worth its weight in gold, but always ask people just to make, Simon just says, make a business decision. You know, as a business owner, that's all you should be asking. That's the money I'm investing. What can I potentially see as a return on that? So let me just show you. I'll spend 1 minute just to show you this. Then we're jumping out to Sam. Looking forward to Sam's session very much. Great guy. Right, just want to show you this. This is what the training looks like in here. Okay, so you just come in. This is all access to you. You get access to all of this, and you've got all of the content here. Okay, and I've actually did a one-to-one session with somebody just last week, and I've recorded that. I've got his permission to share that with you, but all of these are different sessions. I've got bonus resources in there. I've got a download 80-page guide, all to do with podcasting, which covers pretty much everything. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you. And just make sure you put in the coupon code on here if you do come across that website. I think it is, just come in that space on the right-hand side. Just put in the Saturday School 150 off Sat School. That's your coupon, which takes £150 off. Take a screenshot of this, please, or just make a note of it. I'm going to get rid of this screen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll just put it in the chat when I come off, and then we're going to be over to Sam. So hopefully you have enjoyed this session. Just share with me, please, what's one thing that you've taken from this session. Just share one thing, please. Thank you. Somebody's just saying, Haley's just saying, thank you. You always deliver such massive content on Saturday School with no waffle or fluff. Thank you. That's, I want to respect your time. Listen, everything is time, and I appreciate your time. You could be doing one of 1,000 different things, and you're here this morning. And I want to repay that. And I respect Simon as well. I want to give you the best training possible. Louise just saying, great value and appreciate the time. Thanks, Ben. Some great stuff there. Really enjoyed it. Kieran, love the audio emails. Yeah, great thing, Danny. Just, if not anything else, get that as an audio app, voice recorder, send that to some of your prospects, some of your customers. Cliff saying podcast audios are worth looking at again. Israel just saying very informative. David Willis is saying has enjoyed the content ideas. Annette saying how beneficial it can be to have a podcast. It's definitely something I'll be doing. Veronica saying how to start. Yep, go and download Audacity. If you do nothing else, download Audacity. Just get that on your computer. Anthony saying he's going to give it a go. Super, very useful podcast. Kieran saying the podcasting and the pay it forward site. David saying the importance of syndication. Very right. The same with video, the same with content. Many people, so just to share with you, and you don't have to do this with podcasting because there's a couple of tools, the tool that I'll share with you in the training, which very easily, it's never been as easy. You literally take your audio, you upload your title, your art, the description, you put it into this tool, and that puts it out for free instantly across to the main networks. It's incredible. Traditionally, though, just something to think about, we should spend at least 30% of the time promoting the content that we've created. Many people, myself included, often create content, then go on to the next piece of content and the next piece of content without getting the most leverage out of what we've created. Plaxi just saying, you've opened my eyes to the scope and use of audio. Chris is saying, voice creates connection. Louise is saying, listen, all audio is available to all. Is there a field recorder you recommend for remote podcast content creation? Yes, Craig, I'll put something. Zoom, basically Zoom, Z-O-O-M, do very good microphones, and they do great little field recorders. Okay, it's what my brother uses out in the field. Michael just saying thank you, full of content. Are there copyright assets to protect your own audio content, get around copyright for others' content? That's a separate discussion, Catherine, but I do talk about that in the guide within the, which is included in the training. And thanks for this valuable mini training of how easy it is to use voice recording for so many uses. Do I do private coaching? Yes, I do, Veronica. If you'd like private coaching, please email Roger at the office. I've got a couple of spaces for November. I've got a few spaces for December. I'd love to share with you. I do one-to-one focused entirely on what you need. Please just go email Roger and ask for to link with Ben Brophy, and that's how you get in touch with me. Okay.